Ssenyange. I'm pleased to be joined by our correspondent Leon Ssenyange, who joins us live via Skype from Kampala, Uganda, for more on this topic. Leon, great to have you joining us. Good to see you staying safe from the comfort of your home. Now, stadiums have, of course, fallen silent across the continent. How has this affected fans that normally head to sporting facilities in their hundreds to take in the action, especially those in Uganda?
Well, it's quite a difficult time. No fan would definitely at this point in time want to be at a facility with thousands of other fans watching a particular game. It's been a trend across the world, not just in Uganda alone, where at this point in time of, if anything, of the sporting calendar, the soccer season was just about to end. The rugby season was beginning, so you'd quite find a couple of fans there. The volleyball season was also in preparation to start. The athletics championship and calendar was running with the national trials and several other competitions going on. So these, of course, put quite a number of funds in one particular area. And like we've quite known that it's in these particular crowds that are quite susceptible to any kind of infection and spread of the coronavirus, and COVID-19. So it's been a difficult time for the fans, but there's no two ways out of this. You either stay home and stay safe, and there's definitely no option for this particular situation. But of course, many are very optimistic that with the tide and the way things are moving, sooner or later they could be back to the stadium. But of course, with lots of precaution being taken to ensure that they all remain safe.
Now, Leon, as mentioned, easing the COVID-19 lockdown is not in immediate sight. What alternatives, if any, do owners and managers of these sporting facilities have to generate some revenue?
Well, like I spoke earlier to the manager of the Mandela National Stadium here, it's one of the biggest, actually the biggest facility we have in Uganda, sits about 44,000 people. So definitely with any given numbers, they've suffered a very, very big loss in terms of revenue collection at this point in time. And for the last couple of weeks, starting from March, way through April and now, and also the potential that may even go much longer. But there's been some kind of hope for them that even when there's not been any sporting activities, they've been able to hold crusades, religious crusades. They've been able to regenerate some money out of those. Musical concerts as well have put some money in their bag. So, but of course, we all know that all sorts of activities that have thousands of people have been put to a stop. It's definitely going to be a tough time for them to try and regenerate any sorts of revenues. It will be a steady, gradual process for them, and just like any other business, they've suffered a hit. But the options still remain that once the sporting activities resume, yes, people will have to pay quite an amount of money to use the facilities. In case musical concerts also resume, the religious crusades also resume, there will be quite an amount of money coming through. And these look like very much the other options these facilities have to use to be able to generate some revenue going forward.
And finally, very briefly, Leon, as we're almost out of time, as an experienced correspondent and sports journalist yourself, what do you miss most from the stadiums during this period?
Well, it's the camaraderie around any sporting activity. The derby matches, those create some kind of adrenaline within just the fans and even us as the reporters as we cover those particular games. There are those heated moments, the victories, the losses. Those are some of the things that we definitely miss from the crowds and from the stadium and from the games and the sporting activities. But we still have high hopes that when all this is done and comes to an end, life will get back to normal, and everybody will be able to get back to the stadium, support the team that they want to see winning, they support their teams, and yes, be back into the victorious mode.
Indeed, the sooner the better. Thank you very much for that. That was Leon Ssenyange, our correspondent, joining us live there from Kampala.